upped our standards. So now, up yours. The Daily Mojo.
Speaking of TV, though, we have season 2 of The Lincoln Lawyer coming up this week. I'm excited about that. Did you watch the first season on Netflix, Lincoln Lawyer?
I don't.
With Manuel
I
Garcia.
don't think so.
Oh, it's really good.
I don't think I have.
Really good. The thing is that ticks me off about this, though, is that Netflix is going to release it in 2 halves. Like they're gonna release season 2, 5 episodes, and then you're gonna get a second half of season 2 later. Netflix, stop it. Stop it.
It's to keep people from joining, binging, and then quitting.
Don't be what these other dingleberries are doing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Paramount Plus did it with Yellowstone, right?
Everybody does it with everything now.
Yeah. I mean, and, the season 2 of Joe Pickett on Paramount Plus, I'm digging that. And they do that an episode a week. Paramount Plus gives you an episode a week, which is really disappointing. Amazon Prime has got the final season of Jack Ryan on right now, but they're doing 2 episodes a week for the 4th season of Jack Ryan, which is really, I mean, I love that series, but Krasinski and Wendell Pierce is back in Jack Ryan season 4. Awesome. But they're doing 2 episodes a week for that. And then HBO does it. HBO does a show a week as well. Like The Idol, which is okay. The new Sex and the City, just like that.
And terrible. Just like that.
It's terrible. Grandma's in the City.
Kim Cattrall's not in it.
Doing that show. Yeah, well, she is actually
Kim
in
Cattrall.
season 2, but she is actually in season 2, which is what you should pay attention to.
Just a cameo.
Just
a cameo.
Brought her back.
Because she and what's-her-face don't get along. Horseface.
I'm just saying she's in season 2. Okay? So.
Is that website still up? Sarah Jessica Parker has a horse face or whatever it's called?
Oh, sure. Yeah, Horseface. Yeah, sure. That website's not going anywhere. And I like Sarah. I do too. But that website is going nowhere.
Sarah Jessica Parker looks like a horse.com.
Yeah. That's awesome.
She really does.
You know what? That's not funny. That is not funny.
It's not. Okay. It's pretty funny.
Oh, it's
and then seriously, if you have a mole like that,
that's a great one.
I mean, don't you at some point? I mean, I was self-conscious about the mole on my neck when I was a kid. And I never had it removed, so I guess it's okay. But when it starts flopping and getting in your food, it's time to have it burned.
It's time to get it removed.
when you start catching particles of
that. Yeah, it took me 8 years to pull that thing off my face, so I finally got it.
You tie some dental floss around it, and you just keep tightening it, and just eventually it turns black and falls off.
Haven't you ever pulled a wart off your body? No.
Skin tag.
Am I the only
Never
one?
pulled the
Am
wart.
I the only one?
Am
I the only one? I had a wart on my wrist as a kid, and I can remember picking that thing out and digging down. I mean, it was a big hole because I don't know if you know this, they have roots, man, and they go down.
Yes.
And I can remember because you can pick the tops off of them, but that thing will still grow back. I mean, you got to get down in that thing. I'm not the only one.
You get it all.
Never mind.
No,
I'm the only one.
And then you ended up with a bonus hole. You had a bonus hole on that.
I did have my own bonus hole.
Not nearly as much.
Another one on Netflix. Have you watched Extraction 2 yet with Chris Hemsworth?
Yes.
You probably.
That is just good fun. That's just like a good big old roller coaster of fun.
It's a video game. The whole movie is shot like a video game. It's really awesome.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to watch.
It
was fun.
Have you seen how they've shot it? Did you watch any of the behind the scenes stuff on where how the guy with the cameraman will go and he'll jump off the truck and lizard people will be in the background? It's great.
Yeah, I did see that.
It's just it's neat. It's really neat stuff. I want to get to talking the Dead City thing.
Okay.
Because I watched 2.5
AMC Plus.
And I wasn't sure, and it has some problems and spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it all or seen the 3, because it's only 6 episodes.
Well, that's correct, season 1. But I'm just saying that you
have some silly little podcast that you do.
Yeah, Talking Walking Dead.
That did details. He used to do really detailed stuff.
Didn't need him.
And,
I'll tell you that.
I heard he went to NBC or something like that. That he
is that
went
right?
big time
Yeah.
after he left.
Well,
Yeah,
good for
that's
him.
what
I hope. You know what?
Yeah.
I wished him nothing but the best when we kicked him to the curb, and I still believe that. So
good luck in your future opportunities. It was the only way that I knew that Dead City was on, was listening to Talking Walking Dead yesterday with you and Maximus and Jason.
I love it. I think I love it. It's the Negan that we love and wanted. He even said after they did stories about after the first scene in episode 2 where he becomes Negan again, the Negan that we know and love, instead of being deballed. They did stories about him saying he was so happy when he read the script because he was back to being Negan. That means he's been whining to these guys to stop deballing him, and they wouldn't do it. Pretty sad.
Well, but he still took the money. He still went to work and said, "I'll take your check."
Well, you got to do that. Who's not going to do that?
Right? Yeah. But that
I'm
also
not happy
inferred
with my
that
character.
But I'll still take the check.
Yeah,
I mean, I've done that.
I'm unhappy with my character. You want me to do what? Okay.
But it inferred that, I mean, the way they framed it, though, is that the bad that he was an act.
Well, he said that, too. He said he had to do, what he had to do.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, is that the character, the writing on this new show infers that the stuff that he did wasn't really the soul of him. It was just he had to act.
Correct, and that's a constant struggle in that world. That's a constant struggle. That's why Maggie is realizing every so often that she's a lot like the guy she's got to count on now that killed her husband. Right? That's a constant struggle in that world.
I have some criticism of it though, because I think that she obviously goes to him for help. And is still a first-rate bitch to him. Understandably, I don't know. The guy beat her husband to death with a baseball bat, but she's going to him for help.
Things go.
Well, exactly. And if you're gonna go ask this guy that could be a brutal killer for help find your son, then you know what? You might want to consider not being quite the first-rate bitch that you're being. But that's just me.
Well, and there are shades of that in the episodes. You're not all caught up.
I've
watched all 3 episodes.
halfway through the third episode.
Okay, so I mean there are shades of that of her coming around like that in the 3rd episode. So it's definitely happened. I believe my running theory right now is that Negan saves her and the kid in Manhattan against Croat, and then Maggie leaves with the lawman, and the kid stays with Negan, and the end. Walk away. The kid.
Are they never doing it at season 2?
Well, I don't know that it's been re-upped yet. As far as I know, it hasn't been re-upped, but it will be.
And the bigger story here is AMC trying to milk the Walking Dead franchise.
And why not?
That was, I know, I would too if I were them. But I mean, it was such a global phenomenon until they screwed it up, and made it absolutely. And then the world, our world, went to shit in a handbasket, and it was like, oh man, here we are. We've made. And so, how do you make it? Not believable? Or how do you even make it interesting and fascinating beyond the point where, hell, we just lived through a year of, well, we weren't eating each other for the most part, but still, it was a year of strangeness, and there wasn't much cannibalism that I saw. And I guess it could have happened. But
it was everywhere. Ugh.
Has it missed its prime? Is it no longer going to be a mainstream popular show?
I don't know. I mean, Netflix. Look, The Walking Dead wasn't popular. I don't know if we've talked about this or not, but I believe that The Walking Dead really wasn't a phenomenon until it went on Netflix.
Sorry.
Well, I think Netflix put it up after season 3 or something like that, maybe 2.
That's when I remember.
And-
when I moved to
Yeah.
Texas, that's when I started watching it.
Yes, because I remember binging at least the first season and maybe the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead. I mean, I can remember the room I was. I spent the weekend in the room just watching Walking Dead.
2014.
It was so awesome.
2014
so
is when
awesome.
Netflix put it on.
And
That's
saved them.
that's when I started watching it.
That saved. I mean, that made it a world phenomenon because everybody went, "Hey," and then they went to AMC to watch the new ones, to get caught up. I believe, and so then Rick wanted to quit, and he had some BS about quitting, which that really hurt them. I mean, he was the guy. He wanted to
he
quit.
wanted to spend time with his family. What kind of insanity is that?
Which, first of all, which is stupid because after he said that, then they kept talking about seeing him on the set all the time. So it was a lie anyway. Yeah. I mean, he wanted to spend time with his family, and then he went to spend time with his family and realized, I didn't really want to spend time with these people. I'm going to go back to the United States. And then, so he did.
All they do is
it's
bitch.
ridiculous.
No matter how good looking they are, there's some guy somewhere, and it's true.
Now I remember why I wanted to go to the United States and work. Okay.
Right.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
It was so much quieter over there. But
we
lost all its pizzazz.
We have the new Daryl show coming up. Daryl's going to France. That'll be good. That'll be fun. Because in France, in Europe, in France, they have the new walkers. Remember, at the end of The Walking Dead, we found out that there are different walkers, different types of walkers.
They can turn doorknobs.
Smarter. Mm-hmm. We can rebuild it.
Stronger.
Yes. And in France, in the I don't know if it was the special series that they did. I forget what it was called. Shoot. But they showed the scientist in France talking to the U.S. scientist, and you see the walkers. I mean, they're just like fast. So that changes the game. When that change, you see Maggie and Negan in New York with the herds of walkers, but there's still the U.S. herds of walkers stumbling and bumbling. So you have time to react. I mean, if they start moving fast, that changes the game. Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher, available wherever you get your podcasts.
And talking Walking Dead too.
That's part of Chewing the Fat. Chewing the Fat is the mothership. Okay. Talking Walking Dead is underneath that. It's not a separate podcast that you have to subscribe.
Well, wait a second. Why doesn't it say then? Why isn't it called Chewing the Fat, Talking Walking Dead, Dead City Edition?
Because
shouldn't you delineate that?
Dead. No, I shouldn't. Yeah. I should not.
Okay.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm available as a marketing consultant if you need me later.
Are you?
That and we just hired some chick named Alyssa Hershenfeld. What's her name?
Hershenscheid.
She's got nothing else going on right now, I'll tell you that.
She's onboarding right down the hall in HR as we speak.
Watch and listen at thedailymojo.com.